is started supposedly.
That was massive, though.
It was.
Oh my god, we're not talking about that video on stream, Zach.
That was massive.
Zach.
All right,
Like,
we are
ah.
up.
Project, remember?
We're live?
Yep, we are.
That
live.
was. Hey, to my viewers, look up Drake.
No.
There's gonna be something not okay on there.
Nope.
I like his music. Hey, shout out to Drake.
Amazing.
You really got that big D energy.
Alright, let's get to the actual meat and potatoes today. Yep, we're good. Alright, so we're going to get into our first actually draft content video, which I was actually excited for. So I'm going to give you a little bit of overview on how the Bears got this pick. The Bears received the first overall pick via a trade with the Panthers last year. The Panthers had the worst record in the league, it being 2-15. They have that's the Bears pick. After trading them the first pick last year for Bryce Young, now the Bears have the first pick again. So now there's a couple scenarios that could happen. There is they trade the pick to a QB needy team like they did last year. There is they could draft Caleb Williams. They could draft Marvin Harrison, or they can trade both the pick and Justin Fields, and then I have no clue what they do. But those are the four scenarios we have. It's kind of just up to debate right now what we want. So I kind of want the Bears to trade this pick for a QB needing team. The only issue I see with that is a lot of teams don't really want to trade up right now, which makes sense because that's a lot of draft assets, and it's not worked out the times they've traded up for someone right now. So I don't know. If you guys have any whichever one you think is going to happen or you believe they should do, go ahead.
So this has to be within the realm of possibility.
Correct.
Cool. So I
Out
can't
of
just
four
start
options I'm literally giving you because I don't think there's another option that you can say.
So I can't say like they draft DJ Bailey or something. Cool.
That's not even a prospect.
Yeah, I know. And okay, so best option seems like from here that either they draft Caleb Williams, they're dead set on that, and trade Justin Fields. That'll have to be the next thing. Or they trade to the Commanders. That's probably the big team that's going to go with it because Cliff Kingsbury, if you don't know, just got an offensive coordinating job. Bieniemy's out. I feel like that's a downgrade, in my opinion. But it seems like all signs. It was kind of one of those things like whenever the Jets were drafting last year where they were kind of telegraphing that they wanted a tackle. Seems like right now the Commanders want Caleb Williams because that's the dude who would work in this of air raid. So I think that the Bears' best chance is probably to trade down with the Commanders. Do y'all have any other opinions?
The other teams I was looking at are the Commanders, Giants, Titans, Falcons, Vikings, Broncos, and Raiders. Those were the other teams that I could see trading up into that situation to get the first pick. Now, who I think could be probably out of there, I could see you make an argument that Broncos are not a part of that because they don't want to try another trade for a quarterback. They want to draft a quarterback, but that is basically drafting, but it's different. They don't have the assets. Vikings, they don't have the assets, and then I believe you also could say the Titans and the Giants don't have it. So really, it's just the Falcons and the Raiders, if you want to make an argument. But I see those teams in the conversation for a trade. Yeah, probably, but still, they could trade them for value, which that's completely different tangent. That's actually why I think that they could trade both Justin Fields and the pick, get a lot of assets, and then just get Russell Wilson through a trade with
Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Aren't the Broncos just going to cut Russell Wilson anyway?
Probably, but if they don't, then and they're trying to get him traded, the Bears are always. I think the Bears could be a good option.
What is Justin Fields' value right now?
Justin Fields' value, I would say like a second-round pick, best you can get for him. No first-round pick, probably like a second and a third, or like a second and a fourth.
The real question is, how many years are we going to give Justin Fields before we just say that the Fields experiment is over?
Oh, it's probably done after this year.
Because he's shown flashes, but he hasn't been able to put it all together. That's the big problem.
Yeah. Jack, you've been quiet. What do you think about this?
Yeah.
I've been in full support of trade that pick, no matter what. Commanders make a lot of sense. 2-1 is not as big of a move. I'm trying to search what's the team that's sitting in the same spot as the Panthers were when they did it last year. What team would be kind of close to that? But look at the deal they got from the Panthers. 2 first, seconds, and a star player. DJ Moore is not just a regular starter. He's a star caliber, consistent 1,000-yard wide receiver. And that was for Bryce Young. Caleb Williams' value this draft is higher than Bryce Young's value this draft, last year's draft. So I'd say up the ante, ask for another first-round pick on top of that deal. So if you go with the Falcons,
So
you could go for a
three
first-round
say
picks.
3 first-round picks, and then you also get a player.
Yep, 3 first and a player, and then maybe some mid-round stuff if you want to swap that
That
stuff.
sounds like a star player deal.
Yeah, that does. Because he is. Caleb is probably going to be a star in this league. Titans don't have that then. If you're really looking at it, they don't got the player for them unless they want to trade Jeffrey Simmons, which
He feels untouchable though. But
he
Also,
does. He does
there's-
feel untouchable.
I
so
think the
that
Titans
scenario
will
would-
commit to Levis.
Yeah, I think they are too. Yeah, I feel like they're going to give him. Giants can't because Daniel Jones is too expensive.
Yeah, you can't move
So
that
they're-
contract right now.
Yeah, you can't move it, and then also you can't they're just kind of stuck, and they don't got pieces because Saquon's a free agent this year too, so they don't got pieces either. Falcons, they seem like the best right now.
That
They
makes a
seem like
lot
the
of
biggest.
sense. You don't want to necessarily
Every-
trade an offensive piece to do it though, because you don't want him to take a hit when he gets here.
So what you say, like an AJ Terrell?
So it'd be AJ Terrell, a Jesse Bates potentially. I mean, they don't really have that
Ooh,
much.
I'd give Jesse Bates.
I don't think Grady Jarrett's enough of a star player anymore to be considered in that deal.
Maybe like
What
2
about
mid
Calais
players,
Campbell?
like Brady Jarrett, and then they also give who's their linebacker? Shoot, I keep forgetting his name. He's middle linebacker. Shoot, can't think of his name. He's also pretty solid. But maybe they get a 2 mid players with that. That are just situational guys. That are defensive guys. But we've mentioned the trade one. What if they just draft Caleb Williams? Let's mention that one now.
You can't be upset with that outcome if you're a Bears fan.
You can't be mad because if they just take Caleb Williams, I don't think anybody's going to get mad. But now we have the question, where does Justin Fields go? Where would you like to put? Do you give him to? You don't want to give him to the Vikings because
No.
that's a division rival.
Atlanta.
Falcons
You
are
give
the
him to
best
Atlanta. Falcons, all right. What about what if the Rams come knocking?
You could see that as
Why?
if the Rams potentially want Justin Fields to sit for a year, and then the succession plan for Matthew Stafford, or Matthew
They have
Stafford
Rick
outright
Johnson in it.
retires.
Another person is
about
what if the
Stetson
Jets come knocking?
That too, if Aaron
No,
Rodgers.
We want Justin Fields because he'll be the successor to Aaron Rodgers.
Which
I
makes
don't
sense.
know. You guys are in that conversation.
If you win
10,
11 games with the Jets, you're not going to have a high pick to replace Aaron Rodgers when he's done. So someone like Justin Fields can come right off the bench and be ready.
You might want the Bears to take the Caleb Williams thing now, Jack.
That would work.
Not bad.
I'd give up we have to give up a second for next year, so we don't have a second. But
I don't think Cowboys are in this. Dak's pretty old.
They have
So
Trey
I'm saying
Lance,
because Dak's
too.
in his 30s. But I think they have Trey Lance, and I think
so if
that
they were going to
want him
replace
be-
Dak, that would be the move.
He could go to the Saints too,
Saints
yeah.
is an option, yeah.
but they can't pay him.
He's cheap. He's gonna be cheap too. So maybe the Seahawks make a move for him.
Yeah.
Ooh, Seahawks. That would be actually really good for him.
He has elite
Ooh.
supporting.
And he gets his favorite receiver too.
Maybe
Oh,
the
yeah.
Patriots.
Patriots gonna take James Daniels.
Oh, yeah, they have
they're
a
in
pick.
this. What's up?
Yeah, I forgot that they're in the top 3.
Yeah. I don't think there's anybody else. I think those are the teams that
Those
you
are
really
teams
can
that
trade
feels like
with.
There's a best fit for Justin
Raiders
Fields.
too. Raiders are also in this
Oh
conversation.
yeah, they could argue they have enough playmakers already. Well, Josh Jacobs is free agent.
Oh, I forgot too. Maybe Steelers. I don't see it, but Steelers could. It's a
No,
really. You think they stick with Kenny Pickett?
Arthur Smith's not going to know how to use anyone, so why would they try to trade for a quarterback?
That's true, but like Kenny Pickett's not that good, Mitch Trubisky's not that good, Mason Rudolph's not that good. So why
They can
don't
still
you
make
just
the playoffs
not
with
that
TJ
good
Watt.
quarterback? They're just wasting TJ Watt's prime. It's fine. They did the same thing with JJ Watt. He's just like his brother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
Everywhere.
Do you want to talk about trading both? So, like, the only trade scenario I see is they trade with Commanders to do that. Trade both cred, right?
This would
Like,
be
you
they
trade
trade
Justin
Justin
Fields.
Fields and the pick.
Yeah.
What if you
I
got
don't think that.
the 3 first and a player from the Falcons, and then you trade Justin Fields first? Let's just say second and a
What's the-
fourth for the Jets.
Then my other question to you is, what is the board looking like at pick 7?
If you're the
Because I would trade Justin Fields on draft night then. Because say like Jay Daniels falls to 7, which I don't think he would, but I mean he could. Say the Patriots don't like him, he falls out, and then the
With the
Chargers don't
Falcons
need him,
out
the
of the
Giants
way.
don't need him, the Titans don't want him. If they
You'd be in
fall,
prime
if he
position.
falls to 8, or if you like Penix or Bo Nix, you trade Justin Fields too, and then you just take one of those guys, and then just say screw it, we're gonna should do that.
Yeah, because then at least you reset the time it's going to take until they have a massive contract extension.
That's the other idea is you want to like because I feel like if you trade it then you're sticking with Justin Fields. But what if you just like the board and then you're just like, Justin Fields can leave too? That's the only situation I see it. It must really like the other quarterbacks to do that, which that's gonna be really hard. Because Justin Fields isn't bad. He has talent. That's the issue with him.
I guess you'd do
You
that if
see
you
it.
didn't see a big enough gap between Caleb Williams and the other quarterbacks,
Yeah.
based on their
I don't know.
preference.
There is a gap, but still.
Mm-hmm.
Um
So what
I was
about
just
this
saying,
Marvin Harrison?
That's the last thing I wanted to mention. If they get Marvin Harrison with the first pick, that'll be the first ever time a receiver has gone number 1 overall. Number 1. That's kind of cool. They would make history with that. 2, Justin Fields now has the two wide receivers that are stacked. And they have Darnell Mooney as a third option on this team. That is insane. Justin Fields would have to work at that point. That would literally be a make or break for Justin Fields.
Easily.
So, or they trade Justin Fields too, and then they can get like a Kirk Cousins. And oh my goodness, if they get Kirk Cousins with that, oh god, I would be scared. I would actually be scared because Kirk Cousins was doing that with Justin Jefferson. But imagine they can get him
Very
in free
similar
agency.
situation.
Oh my god, it would be over, like literally
Yeah.
done.
I
Bears
feel
would be
if
like
you're
a
taking
Super
Marvin
Bowl
Harrison at 1. You should still try to trade down with the Commanders because you know they're not going to take Marvin Harrison, so you might as well get value. But if you trade down with anyone else, then you're not getting Marvin Harrison.
That's true. Yeah, I mean that trade down scenario is there. I would do it too, but like, I don't think the Commanders are really that worried though. They just take Drake May if Caleb Williams is not there.
Yeah, they'd have to love Caleb Williams significantly more than the other quarterbacks.
Yeah, but again,
Or they like
have
Jay
Kingsbury,
Daniels.
so it makes the most sense for them to
It
trade
does,
up.
but Kingsbury's also seen other people in college football right now, and he might like Jane Daniels a little bit more too. So who knows? He only took that job because Lincoln Riley was there, and he likes Lincoln Riley. He likes working under Lincoln Riley's staff, which is true. He's done it consistently, but I don't know. I like the Cliff Kingsbury move for the Commanders, so I don't know what it's going to be. But I'm like one of the people that actually enjoys that move for them. I think Cliff is actually not that bad. We've never seen him coordinate for an NFL team. We've only seen him as a head coach, which wasn't the best head coach. He still made the playoffs, though. So,
Yeah, but he also
Well,
choked
yeah.
at the end of the season.
all right. We don't need to talk about that part, but like he's just a coordinator now. He's not running the entire thing. Maybe Kingsbury's a better coordinator than a coach. We've seen it before. Hell, we've seen it with
Knowledge.
Staley. Staley, we've seen he was a really bad DC. He was a really bad head coach, but he was a really good DC. Oh,
Staley only had
Sometimes-
one job with the
Oh,
most
yeah,
stacked
whatever,
Rams
no.
team that we've ever seen.
yeah, but still, like, he's still really good. There's other people. That was the first thing that came to mind.
You could
Oh,
have
Vic
just
Fangio.
anyone
Vic
he's a much
Fangio.
better coordinator than a coach.
as a way better example.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just me though. I think that I still believe that it should be the quarterback. I think they should trade that pick and stick with Justin Fields because Justin Fields has talent. He has a good rushing ability. He's starting to understand passing, like how to pass correctly and how to make reads and how to read defenses. He's starting to understand that now, which is a little late. He's in his third year, going into his fourth, right? Or is he going into his third?
Fifth.
I think he's going into his
Or wait, no, fourth. Yeah, you're right, fourth.
Yeah, it's his
I was
fourth. They
like,
haven't
too
given.
long.
They rejected his fifth-year option, I believe. That's this year. Oh, well, that will tell it. If they don't give him his fifth-year option, we know that.
They're probably gonna get rid of him.
Yeah. Okay. Well then, but I still think you give him his fifth-year option. You like keep it going, and technically, like they shouldn't even fire the head coach if the season goes bad next year because that wasn't his guy. He didn't want Justin. He never drafted Justin Fields. Give him his guy, and then we can talk about firing their head coach.
He inherited Justin Fields.
Yeah, because Bears, Nagy, and Pace, or it wasn't Pace, it was someone else at the time. They knew their jobs were cooked. They were seeing if Justin Fields could just save their jobs. Yep. Which didn't happen, so. If there's any final thoughts, that was kind of it for the video. Unless you guys have any idea, like, if you want to say anything about any of these concepts and trade scenarios. You guys have any
I
other
think
things
there's
to say?
an appealing scenario where you can. I definitely think trade down no matter what, unless your staff is in love with Caleb Williams and you think you're going to be able to make him a superstar immediately, which is possible. But I think the value of a Bryce Young level trade, and we're expecting more than the Bryce Young trade, is just too much. Like if it's there and someone's giving you that level of an offer again, I'm not declining it. I think lean towards sticking with Justin Fields because you're going to have all these assets to surround him. But there's a scenario where you trade Justin Fields and you're able to lure a Kirk Cousins, a Russell Wilson, and obviously you have 3-4 extra first-round picks. You could start trying to make deals for big-name players and significantly move up your Super Bowl window. It definitely makes a win-now urgency if you get rid of a Justin Fields and you start trading those picks, whereas you can sit on them and see how the teams develop. I lean towards stick with Justin Fields and keep the pick. Or lean towards stick with Justin Fields and a trade down, though. But I wouldn't be surprised if you could trade them both. Lure like a vet QB that thinks he can win a Super Bowl, and you use those picks to surround him with plethoras of elite talent.
They could go cheap, too, and get Baker Mayfield.
That's a possibility.
That is a possibility.
And you feel good about
And
their
I think
defense
that-
is already improving.
Oh, I think their defense is on a different level right now.
And then you
The
could
development-
potentially trade for another player like that?
That trade that they made over the offseason or over the midseason, getting Montez Sweat, has been amazing for them. That was one of the best moves that they have made in a long time. That's like up there with the Khalil Mack trade. For that franchise. So I think that their defense is almost already there. Just give it like one more year, that defense is going to be as good as it was when Khalil Mack was leading it. That's my take. I think that defense is almost already ready. It's just the offense needs to catch up. If the offense can catch up, which that's the reason I'm like, well, if you just put a spark plug in like Kirk Cousins, they're going to be in the playoffs.
Easily.
So, easily in the playoffs, maybe even contending for a Super Bowl at that point. So, that's crazy to say that Kirk Cousins is a spark plug that can create the Bears from being the 7th, 8th? Aren't they like the 9th
7
pick?
10. Yeah, they're at 9 right now.
Yeah, the 9th pick to a Super Bowl contender. Just by him. Like, that's wild. And they have picks for the future. So,
Kirk
that's
Cousins
just
is
me.
good.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins is really good. Like, he was supposed to win MVP this year if he didn't get injured. And the Vikings were a little bit better. But still. That's besides the point. But,
I could see
I don't
somebody
know,
with
that's-
Russ.
yeah. The other quarterbacks are kind of just like, in this free agency, are kind of depth pieces. Like, I wouldn't say any of these guys are going to find starting jobs other than Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield, Gardner Minshew. Other than those guys, I don't see anybody else getting one. I think that a lot of them are going to get signed to big deals, though. I think a Ryan Tannehill will get signed to a big deal. Jacoby Brissett, Tyrod Taylor, Marcus Mariota, Sam Darnold, Drew Lock, Jameis Winston. Those guys are going to get paid. Like, those guys are going to get something out of it just because how many times we saw quarterbacks go down this season, but still, it's not like they're gonna get massively overpaid for. Kirk Cousins, I think, can go massively overpaid for. I think he also can get underpaid because we didn't see him. He's either gonna get overpaid so much that it's too much, or he's gonna get underpaid because we forgot how good he was.
They're probably scared of the Achilles too. They're not. It's gonna mess
That's
up his
exactly. Well, he's not a mobile quarterback though.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about the Achilles really affecting the way he plays or anything like that.
So, I like how it became a. What will the Bears do to? Should the Bears sign Kirk Cousins? That's crazy.
Cousins
See, that's
and
what our
Baker
debate style can go to.
We moved into what the Bears should do if they trade both. If it's not Kirk Cousins, then maybe Baker Mayfield is a long shot, though. I'm just going to stick with Justin Fields if I trade that pick.
So, at what point in time will we just know that it's Caleb Williams, though? At what point? Like, if there's just, like, they reject his fifth-year option, we're like, okay, it's Caleb.
Yeah, I think so.
So, we just have to wait for what the Bears are going to do with the fifth-year option of Justin Fields. Because that's
And
this
if
year,
Cousins
isn't it?
gets extended by the Vikings.
Oh, we don't give... No. That's just if they trade Justin... That's like a scenario if they trade Justin Fields and the first pick. We were just on that tangent for a long time.
Most
Because
of the
we
deals,
just have to...
Because Cousins is going to be gone by that point.
Oh, when fifth-year options are getting... No. Fifth-year options start before free agency hits.
When do they start?
They start, like, right before. So you have, like, a little dead zone before free agency hits.
At the
and
end
it's,
of the
to get all your
re-sign
contracts
period.
restructured. Yeah. So, like, they have time. They actually could be the first person to bite. Now, Vikings get first bite on Kirk Cousins to see if he can get him back, but still.
I think Justin Fields is going to get traded before the draft.
That's what I'm thinking, too. I think he might get traded during the draft, too. During the draft process, some team gets desperate, and then they're just like, the Bears are like, hey, I also see a scenario where the Bears trade up to get, like, a playmaker like Neighbors or, where is he? One sec. I gotta look at the list again. There it is. Like a Brock Bowers or like a Dunze. They trade Justin Fields with their pick to get one of those guys. I think that's an option, too. Because they're picking at 9, so...
They're like right on
And
the
they really
cusp.
like-
I think there's going to be a run on playmakers.
Yeah. This is an offensive heavy draft, so they don't have to really... They can wait on offense, too. This is not a defensive heavy draft. This is a great draft if you need an offensive playmaker. Or if an offensive lineman, like somebody that we'll talk about later in offseason previews. So. Yeah, but that's all I had to say about the Bears. I thought it was an interesting scenario. There's like a lot of options that they can go with this first pick. It's not like a common first pick that we usually see, where like the team is just like, oh, they tank, they suck, they're gonna get this guy. This is like, okay, you didn't suck this year. You have a lot of options, so it matters what they do. But I think if you're the head coach and the GM, you might want to think, hey, this is gonna keep my job if we keep Justin Fields for a little bit longer. So, who knows? So, you guys have any other final thoughts about this trade or pick or whatever? I think the Marvin Harrison one, I think we've all just kind of said that that could happen, but it's not probably going to happen.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think Marvin Harrison's the most.
I mean, Marvin Harrison just goes to the Cardinals. That's okay.
That's probably exactly what's going to happen. I think those
I
top
love
3
that.
QBs are QB spots no matter what.
Imagine there's like a Malik Willis situation, though. Like, I feel like we're good on the Drake May and Caleb Williams, but like, imagine if like Jane Daniels just doesn't go with the third pick, and then
Is it
Marvin
like
Harrison
a Will
does.
Levis and it slides all the way down?
Yeah, it's like a Will Levis or like a Malik, like wherever when we had that like one class with like Kenny Pickett,
Malik
Malik
Willis was
Willis,
like
Problem
getting
is-
locked 6.
and then it's like, oh yeah, no, these guys aren't really first rounders.
But the problem is, Kenny Pickett and Malik Willis were just skyrocketed there because of how good of quarterback class that we had previously. Jaden Daniels is a Heisman winner.
Yeah, that's well, we've seen second rounders or Heisman winners before.
Yeah, but Heisman winners statistically now have been first rounders.
Yeah, statistically, yes, you're correct, but still.
Yeah, and Jaden
I
Daniels
swear, if
more
Jay
fun.
Daniels had a better defense, we'd be talking about, like, we were having a nasty debate about Caleb Williams and Jane Daniels right now.
Yeah, if you like freaking made the college football playoffs,
That's why.
defense.
You would have had, like, a Joe Burrow type run? Oh, God.
then we'd
We'd
be
be
ready
having
to just
some-
be Jaden Daniels versus Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That'll be some nasty debates. So, but that
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have any more final thoughts about this Bears situation.
But I mean, that
We'll talk about
2019 LSU team was just stacked. That's
Uh,
one of the greatest college teams that we've ever seen.
we're gonna talk about more of this Bears situation later in the year too. We'll have off-season previews. We'll have a slide about the Bears and what their needs are.
Mhm.
We're also gonna have mock draft. We're probably gonna talk about it. So we're gonna talk about this Bears situation into more depth when we get more information on what they want to do. So whatever they want to do, we'll figure it out over the off season. But other than that, this is kind of what our thoughts are right before the Super Bowl. It's kind of crazy that we're talking about the off season stuff and like we're not even done with the Super Bowl yet. But that's what happens. So, yeah. You
Yeah,
guys have
'cause a
any more
month
final
later-
thoughts about the Bears, or we good, dude?
Yeah, because a month later we got the UFL season.
All right,
Starting.
we're not talking about.
Spring
Nope.
football.
There
No.
could be some good talent that comes out of there. We always got
Yeah,
like
but
one
they
star.
don't draft it. That's the problem.
Yeah, but we always have like one star that comes out of there. Cavante Turpin, Brandon Aubrey.
Yeah, but they're not like stars.
They are stars.
Turpin's not a star. Let's chill out. This is not even a video that we're supposed to be talking about Turpin. He's not a star though.
He's a good returner. And Brandon Aubrey is probably one of the best kickers that we've seen.
Okay,
That's
Aubrey's pretty
pretty-
nice. But he's a kicker.
He didn't miss a kick.
Yeah, and then what happened in the playoffs?
He missed a kick.
Yeah,
And
looks like that big moment. He was scared. Bro, we're destroying. I want him on a team.
he's on the Brahmas. San Antonio.
Okay. Yeah, but I want him in the NFL.
Yeah. Well, he's going to have to show it because he's only played in college.
Yep. All right. Again, are we good? Are we done talking about this Bears pick? Because we can debate this off stream. Okay. Are we done talking about the Bears pick?
Think so.
I think we are. All right. So that ends it for our stream today. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. If you don't like it, hit the dislike button. Put in the comments below what you think the Bears should do with this first pick. If you really like us, hit the subscribe button, turn post notifications on so you can join us on the streams. That's all I have to say. Jack, hit the plugs.
As usual, don't forget about the Instagram and Twitter at FrontlineFB. The links will be in the description too. And yeah, stay tuned for the off season. There's a lot of fun stuff happening, and we'll definitely have more answers about the Bears. Probably, actually, we may already know. Definitely know by 2 months from now. But like by next month, a lot of stuff is going to change, and maybe the whole scenarios will be flipped on its head. So stay tuned because we're going to be keeping you posted on everything, and we'll see you guys back here.